times when you see that an athlete went quote unquote broke, you tend to look at that athlete and say what the average person would say.
How could that possibly happen?
How could that possibly happen? He's a dummy. He's an idiot.
Yeah, he's blowing it all on girls and cars.
Totally.
And irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. Now, when you are a young man and you do sign that first deal and you know that you've got some money coming towards you, what happens then?
You want to buy your mom that house. You want to buy your dad that truck.
Of course.
You want to have your brothers and sisters be able to pursue the dreams and the careers that they often had and use your money to do it.
But it must extend beyond the immediate family.
It's everybody that you run into. Literally.
Everybody that you knew growing up somehow, some way kind of reached out.
Yes, indeed. You have family members that you never would have thought. You have friends with the best business ideas that can make both of you rich, but the only thing that the idea needs to come to life is your money.
Mm-hmm.
Good people, what's up? What's good, y'all? Blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. We are back with another episode of Chillin With Caleb. Thank you guys, man, for always tuning in, showing love, tapping into the platform. We got some dope interviews that's about to drop this week as well. Make sure as well to sign up for the YouTube membership. I'm about to drop some exclusive content on there. I got you guys. I know, man, the past few weeks has been a little quiet over there, but hold tight. We got a lot of ad-free content that will be dropping very, very soon, and some new exclusives as well. So tap in with that. I might list the link in the bio too, so check that out on there. Dr. Gus Wood, that interview, it just dropped too. Excellent conversation on class warfare here in Atlanta, gentrification, reparations, and so much more. With all that being said, man, this week on my timeline, OBJ, seeing that, right? About $60 million. He had a $100 million contract post-taxes. Chops that down, 60 M's. Knowing that 60 million can't last a person for their entire lifetime, that encourages more discussion. We see so many pro athletes so often, right? They go broke. Going broke was one of the best 30 for 30s that I've ever seen. And seeing how we have young black men that come from impoverished communities and sometimes from the suburbs. And once you get that big lump sum, right? Let's say I'm a rookie, first round pick, I got 20 million. I just went from, especially the past era, pre-NIL, I just went through all throughout college broke, right? Eating ramen, get a little $1,200 stipend, it stops right there. To now I'm getting a wire transfer of $850,000 a week for 17 weeks. It changes you. And then in those moments, just like a person with a regular job, right? You start, feeling like, hey, I got the bread, I'm good. And you start spending more because you think that you have more. But what they don't tell you is it's a lot of nuance. In the offseason, especially in football, they do not get a paycheck. So each week, let's say, I think Le'Veon Bell, this was around like 2017, he sat out, right? I was a big Steelers fan. That year, they said, I think his contract was $17.5 million. He was missing out on roughly $900,000 a week. And in that moment, I realized, dang, bro, they getting that weekly? Pat Mahomes, you talking about millions per week. Dak Prescott signed for $60 million. So you can only imagine per week what that game check it looks like. And don't let them make it to the playoffs, right? That's a bonus. However, if you make it to the Super Bowl at best, you're talking about between February, March, OTAs, things like that. But you're talking about a gap from February all the way up to August that you got to make that bread stretch. In the offseason, I think that's where most pro athletes start to go broke. It's the lifestyle. In the offseason, players like OBJ, so many others, you're training out in LA, right? You fly out there. Then after that, if you got a girlfriend or girlfriends, plural, you taking them out to Nobu. You're talking about $400, $500 tab without wine included, drinks, bar, all this stuff, right? Going to the club, buying bottles. And mind you, you're doing this per day. So that's every single day I'm dropping bread. I'm dropping at least 5 racks, right? I'm going out. I have to pay my trainer. I have to pay my staff, masseuse, all these things. My home. I'm renting a home. Those things start to add up. So then that sparks this overall question of, what are we building? We see so many athletes, right? You're talking about a person that's worth 60 million, that could change an entire community, right? If somebody signs you a $60 million check, there's so much good that you could do with those funds. And imagine that same person, they spend it on strippers, spend it on cars, spend it on clothes, spend it on women, all these things. And it's like, for what? Pastor Mike Jr., he had a great sermon. Sid, what was the title of that sermon, if you remember? Thrive. It was a great sermon. And hearing that sermon, he was saying, bro, I'm looking around this entire sanctuary and I see millionaires, I see pro athletes, I see creatives, business owners, all of these things. And our school systems are still trash. Kids still don't have toys for Christmas. Homelessness, rampant. Crime, rampant. And we have resources and we're just looking around waiting on somebody else to just do something for us. And we have to stop doing that. In this moment, our pro athletes, we got to hold them accountable, right? You're talking about people instantly that can change an entire trajectory of the Black community. And it's not happening. And at this point, we've had so much Black success that it's become too normalized, right? So we see people that are making this money, but not doing anything impactful. It's gotten to a point that we've had so many Black athletes that we're starting to see guys' sons playing professional ball now, right? We're seeing a Bronny James that's in the league now. We're seeing Kenyon Martin's son that was in the league. This person's son, Scottie Pippen's son. Like, everybody's a junior during the draft. I promise you, you'll start seeing, oh, that's so-and-so's son. So now we got generational wealth that's passing down, and we're still not properly utilizing that generational wealth. And that's why, even now here at the studio, hosting our first annual toy drive. It will be December 22nd on that Monday. But if you guys are in the city, more than welcome, stop by, drop off for the toys, text us, all that good stuff. But that was inspired, shout out to my dog Bonner, of a simple conversation. My dog Bonner, shout out to you, man. He inspired this, right? We were just having a simple conversation and he was like, dog, I'm tired of seeing this. And I was like, bro, me too. At our old studio, 236, I used to hate it, of just seeing so much homelessness, right? It was to the point I would try to talk to the people, break bread, all of those things. But I realized, damn, I'm just one person. Like, I can't change this. So it takes a group, even if it's a small number, of just saying, I've had enough. And it's time for actual tangible change, not just passing out turkeys, taking pictures, videoing it, posting it on your Instagram. All that shit is lame. It takes a change of, I want to see us actually win, right? Even if it's small things in your given capacity in life, right? Maybe you don't have all the money to sponsor something. Sure. Volunteer somewhere on Christmas. Give something, whether that's just a gift card, a pair of sneakers, open up the door for somebody. Acts of kindness, especially towards our people. That's so needed. So seeing that, man, from Odell, man, it was very concerning, of just knowing this guy, he was a superstar. Think about Madden 16 on the cover of that. The catch, right? The hair, Head and Shoulders ads, the Nike ads, all of these things. LSU, great career. New York Giants, superstar. Super Bowl champ on the Rams. And none of that matters when the dust settles. Because so many young Black athletes, especially young Black men, we don't think about life after sports. Especially those who make it pro, right? Because then it's like, I made it. Yes and no. Your career, especially in football, it could be over in 3 years max. Odell's prime, his window of Odell prime years is probably just 5 years, where he was at a high elite level, 5 years max, 5 to 6. On the Rams, we saw that in the Super Bowl. He was going crazy. He waited his entire career for that moment, and he tore his ACL after scoring a touchdown. And ever since then, his career was never the same. So even if you do make it, what if you get hurt? What's your goal? Junior Bridgman, I think that's one athlete, that pro ball player, that people really have to study. Rest in peace to him now. But man, he started Wendy's franchises all throughout the country, made his fortune post basketball. Magic Johnson has made more money outside of the game of basketball than he has made playing. LeBron, I think post basketball, he's about to go crazy, because if you already reached $1 billion while playing, who's to say afterwards? But saying all these names, what are we doing? Are we creating voting blocks, right? Where we are creating super PACs for the Black community, for Black America? I don't see it. Are we giving back enough? Here in Atlanta, I hold all of us accountable. We can't call ourselves the Black Mecca, Black success. Dr. Gus Wood, check out that interview on the same subject matter. But it's time for change. We can't push Black elitism where it's this talented 10th where I'm successful, I made it, and you could pick yourself up too by your own bootstraps. It don't work that way. Somebody gave you an opportunity, so it's up to you to then pay that forward. That's community. So Odell, very, very telling. Young dudes, study that because it could be you. And especially now, like y'all making NIL bread in high school, in college. So the more money that attracts, more distractions. So it's going to be more girls coming at you. It's going to be more of everything, drugs, everything except for the main thing itself, which is the game and building. View yourselves as businessmen. That's the most important thing. If I'm making 850 racks a game, how do I leverage that to open up more properties? So I'm setting myself up post football. So then I'm even more successful after the game because those paychecks, they will stop. It's another thing, the taxes alone. I mean, if you sign an $100 million contract, hearing Odell say, well, I only got 60 of that for real, over 5 years, not 60 up front, over 5 years, it kind of makes you step back like, damn, like you really got to make that bread stretch. Understand that and make your money work for you. If anything, man, Marshawn Lynch, he was giving out good game too a long time ago where he lived off of straight endorsement deals. He didn't touch his football salary. So then once he's done and retired, he's solid. And that's why, bro, right now, as y'all see, man, Marshawn Lynch is just living his life because he took care of his money. Don't feel like you have to step outside of yourself to impress people. Always understand that. Because once you think that I got to look a certain way, I got to dress a certain way, I got to have a certain type of car, certain type of girl, those things, man, they come back to bite you. Certain type of girl that could turn into a certain type of baby mama. Certain type of car that could turn into a certain type of repossession, right? Where all these things turn into bills. A certain type of house, that's a bill, man. When you think about buying mom's a house, if mom's has been staying in that house for 30, 40 years, let's just renovate that home. We don't have to buy her a brand new property. That property, that's for you. That extra property, imagine if you buy that property to then flip it. Now it's making money for you. But instead, that one person now has to put on the entire hood. And that is a generational curse because that one person who's successful now has to take care of everybody else. Then nobody's being taken care of because now Uncle so-and-so, if I'm sliding you 1,500 here and there, 2,500, you think it's normal. Now you feel like, man, bro, I got a W-2 for him at this point. He gonna send me this. And then now you're not trying to build anything because he's taking care of you, enabling you. That's another issue. We got to all find our roles. Jameis Winston on the pivot, right? Hearing him talk about spending $400,000 in a month on family and friends and how he did that repeatedly. Now, mind you, Jameis Winston is a backup quarterback now. At the time, though, he was drafted, I think, number 1 overall, Tampa Bay Bucks. Heisman winner, Florida State was popping at the time. And guess what? The moment Jameis, his rookie deal was up, Tom Brady came, took his spot, dropped him off the team. It can happen to you that fast. And I promise you, Jameis right now wishes he had an extra $400,000 because there's so much that you could do with that. But instead, you feel endowed to take care of family and friends. And then family and friends, we got to hold y'all accountable. Y'all got to realize you are actually doing us more harm than good by trying to take care of me. I've been taking care of myself this entire time. And then what happens is once said player, he retires, he quits, you still like, gimme, but the money's not coming in the same. So I got you used to a certain lifestyle that's non-sustainable. So now I done effed up our entire situation. Mom, that home, I don't need you to turn on the lights as much no more. Watch the gas, watch this. Why? Because I just retired. I ain't got the bread like that no more. So we have to stop overextending ourselves in survivor's remorse of feeling bad for making it. Some of those family and friends, bro, they only fooling with you because they can get something out of the deal, not because they really like you. Because if they really do, watch what happens if you tear your ACL, pop your Achilles, career's over. It's going to get real quiet. Sebastian Telfair, that's a telltale sign. Growing up, Through the Fire, that's one of my favorite sports docs. I used to love Sebastian Telfair. Played point guard, Lincoln High School. I thought he was the coolest guy in the world. Might have been like in the 3rd, 4th grade. I used to study all his moves, no-look passes, all that, right? Bro, Sebastian made it, I think, from Coney Island projects, just to now end up right back in the Coney Island projects. Sebastian had a short career, Sebastian was supposed to be in the LeBron conversations, right? All of those things. And he didn't. His career didn't pan out as well. He still made bread overseas, all of that. But guess what? He blew through it, keeping up a certain type of lifestyle. Then guess what? He got arrested. That's attorney fee. So the last little million he probably had got ate up in that. So then now he's back in the projects, back to where he originally started from. Did a full 360. That is like a microcosm of so many young black men who we make it. Young black women, you make it, but then you feel, damn, I got to take care of the hood. But now, who's taking care of him? His kids, he got multiple kids, eating bologna sandwiches, like going through it. And then seeing him idolize, romanticize being back in the hood shows this is propaganda. We've been fed to believe it's all about the hood, keeping up a certain type of lifestyle, flexing on our own, all of these things instead of building for our own. Our time on this planet, man, is so finite. I really wish people would truly understand that. I turned 29 in a month, and it's like in those moments, I think about being in the first grade, second grade, being in middle school, college. That felt like that was yesterday, but time is always moving. So you got to capitalize on each moment. So in those times where Odell, he's like, bro, I'm young. I'm going to sign my second deal, third deal. Not necessarily, bro. And then now he's 33. So you can't just get signed by a random team anymore. You're damaged goods. You're older. So now you got to live off of that. And that's where things starts to get dicey, right? Got child support, got payments. Keeping up with that, that's something that you can't do. So understanding that, man, is just pausing in the moments, knowing what you have, and knowing that what you have is enough. So that's the biggest lesson, man. Study, learn, don't laugh at them. Learn, don't laugh at them. So Odell, man, illustrious career, great player, great receiver, changed the game. But think about, right, when he was signed to Nike, if he just lived off of those Nike endorsements, Head and Shoulders. I'm just chilling off of $5-6 million a year. Everything else I'm making, the 20, 25 plus, I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to utilize those funds, make something happen. That's how we use our minds. Understand that this is a system for them, that they love putting you in certain boxes because everybody's leeching off of you. The agent that probably doesn't look like you is making something off of you. The trainer is making money off of you in the off season. The masseuse, the therapist, this person, that, everybody's leeching off of you. So you got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So all my athletes, man, understand that your time as an athlete and even playing at a certain level is so finite. Maximize on those moments and utilize the resources and the funds that you have during that finite amount of time to maximize your full potential as a person, as a provider, as a leader that can change the overall trajectory of your family's history. To whom much is given, much is required. So understand that and seize your moment. Don't just get excited just because you got a few dollars in your pocket. Understand that this capital is power, but they're banking on me putting this money back into their system because I'm going to spend it at their clubs. I'm going to spend it on their car dealerships, on this person, that person. And then before you know it, all the money's gone. Don't end up like all the other ones. There's too many stories out there. There's too many cautionary tales to expect people to feel sorry for you because the blueprint is already out there. If you choose to fall for the same okie doke, that's on you. So accountability is very important, y'all. Being real with each other is very important. Don't have so many yes men around you. Have people saying, bro, why did you just spend 10 racks, bro? Why? No. Somebody has to watch your money, hold you tight, even outside of your own financial advisor, because you got to watch them. Everybody's trying to leech off of you, and you have got to understand that. The woman that you choose is so important as well. Something, man, that really ticks me off, y'all, is like how so many men talk about women all the time and calling them 304s, all these things, but these are the same guys getting these 304s pregnant. Y'all the same ones still passing around the same 304. I keep seeing the same girls over and over. And y'all liking all their pictures, commenting, all that stuff, subscribe to the OnlyFans, so you like it. Y'all not choosing the right women. Pastor Mike Jr., Rock City Church in Birmingham, Alabama. I know y'all probably like, he keeps referencing this guy. Man, recently, y'all, I've been way more in my word. I would really say this entire year, just from, being in the gym and that peaceful time, that time of stillness and breath and just being in the moment. That's what I love about going to the gym every single morning. And in those moments, I'm playing sermons, whether that's Pastor Mike Jr., Darius Daniels. Those are like my top two. And I just love feeding my mind and feeding my spirit and my body and my soul. And his past sermon in Thrive, he was like, a man is a sum of all of his decisions throughout life. And I've heard that saying before, but hearing it this time at 28, about to be 29, it hit completely different. Because looking around my personal landscape of friends and family and just other people, right? Whether I see other people in the fields, all these other things, I see to where so many people have not utilized their time on this planet. And then what happens is they're trying to make up for missed ground. And this ties back into our athletes, our young black men, our people. You don't want to look back wishing and having regrets. I'm not saying that you won't make mistakes in life. I'm not saying that things won't go wrong. But you don't want to have to look back and hope and wish and dream that you would have done things differently. Maximize every single day. Maximize every single opportunity that is gifted to you by God. Because tomorrow's not promised. And you have to set up something as a man that stands the test of time. You have to build a legacy. And I want young men to really understand that when you're growing up, when you're in those adolescent years and teenage years, throughout your 20s, man, your 20s, that's the most pivotal decade in your life as a man. If I wasn't working like a Hebrew slave since 20, I would not be where I'm at today. But it took those years and those times of whether that was working 2 jobs at a time or whether that was working OT just to fund our studio or doing all these other things. But it molded me in my 20s to be a hard worker, to be consistent, to understand delayed gratification, understand how to humble yourself in those moments, right? In those environments where you know that you're smarter than this, you know that you're better than this, but you understand that you got to work this job. You understand that you got to make the most out of this opportunity within itself. And once you learn how to master those hard moments, those molding moments, you're ready to stand in front of others because you've been through it. So instead of me coming out of it and saying, oh, well, you just got to work hard like me. No. How do I pay it forward so you don't have to work as hard as me? We're going to work smarter, not harder. Each generation, it should be lighter. We shouldn't be having intergenerational beef where, well, I had to do that. That's a problem. That's slave talk of saying, well, I had to do this, so you should. No. My job is to make it easier for my son when he comes to this earth. And his son's job is to make it easier for his son and his daughter, his family. My daughter's my family. And we keep paying it forward. But that takes true selflessness. To think outside of yourself, even in those moments of waking up in your 20s to that job that you hate, right? You got to understand I'm legacy building even right now. It might not show right now, but 10 years from now, it's going to show. The fruits of my labor, of my deeds, of my actions, it's going to show. At my funeral one day, when I'm an old man, when you're old and all of us are old, your actions, your impact, your legacy, the fruits of your labor will truly reveal itself. And ask yourself right now in this moment, if this was my last day on this earth, would God be pleased? Would my ancestors be pleased? Would my children be pleased? My family, I myself, would I be pleased with the work that I've done? So sit with that. But thank you guys, man, for always tuning in. We about to hop into the next segment. But yeah, OBJ, life choices, all of those things. We really got to take a step back, reassess, and really ask ourselves, am I doing God's work? Am I doing kingdom work? Or am I just going out and about? Don't do things that's just for self, because it's not gonna last. Do things that's bigger than self. Do a deed, build a legacy of work that can't be done in just your lifetime. Something that's so magnificent that the next generation has to continuously steward it, take care of it. I think about Joshua in the Bible, right? When they crossed over on the Jordan, and knowing that they kept those dry rocks just to show God had us walk on dry ground. So the next generations will truly understand God's power. And so they will never forget leaving those stones up there. And that's what we have to do. Our community, our people, what type of stones are we leaving for the next generation to see that we walked on dry ground? You can't let God's miracles, your works, go unnoticed. So build something that lasts. And that shows that we walked on dry ground. So thank y'all, man, for always tuning in. Thank you for tuning into this segment. We about to hop into the next. Sit tight. Thank y'all, man, for staying tuned in. But in recent news, a recent tragedy, I'm praying for them, man. Out in Stockton, California, in the Bay Area, there was a shooting. Stockton, California, according to the Associated Press, this is December 1st, 2025. Family members were getting ready to cut the cake at a toddler's birthday party when the gunfire started inside a banquet hall packed with relatives and friends over the weekend in California. I actually thought it was my balloons popping. It was gunshots, said Patrice Williams, the birthday girl's mother. Her daughter, who turned 2, was uninjured, but Williams told the Associated Press on Monday that her sister, a cousin, and 3 of her friends were shot in the burst of gunfire Saturday evening in Stockton. 3 children, ages 8, 9, and 14, and a 21-year-old were killed in the hall, where at least 100 people were gathered. San Joaquin County Sheriff Patrick Withrow said detectives believe the gunfire continued outside and there may have been multiple shooters. So as someone who owns a creative studio here in Atlanta, blessed to be a power host, right? Popular space, blessed to say that. We've had to operate in a certain manner. You know, for people who do know, at 3 Million Productions, that's hosted events in our studio. We used to demand that you hire our security firm that would make sure, shout out to Dolph, he was holding it down for us, where he did security, where it was armed security. We had to pat everybody down just to make sure that people had a safe event. And even if it was for the most minuscule thing, we had our rule. If it's over 50 people, have to have armed security. Because as you guys see in that article that was read, it was 100 people who were there. And what happens is in these large gatherings is sometimes you have strangers who are brushing shoulders. A person could bump into somebody. There could be beefs that we may not even know about. Robberies can happen. All these things can happen. And my heart also goes out to not only the families, but the venue owner. That's what people don't think about. Shout out to my wife, Sid. She was like, nobody's talking about the owner of this venue. Somebody had to put money down, a security deposit. A person had to invest into that property, had to flip the property, make it look presentable, all of these things. And now something that they've worked so hard for is gone off of a client, right? That's disheartening. That's heartbreaking. And now your space is forever associated with that. So what people aren't thinking about is that venue owner now can't get another property. They can't just move on because now they're associated with that. What property manager wants to welcome a person, a business owner that just had a shooting where 4 people died? Because now instantly what they'll say is, hey, these people are associated with you. This is your type of clientele. The family, seeing how that went down, that's heartbreaking. In front of a toddler, cutting her birthday cake. What message does that send? So we have all these things going on in this one incident. So many perspectives, viewpoints that were impacted by this. Just like what we were talking about earlier, we have to understand the power of the Black dollar. That is a venue that's now gone, a safe space for people to host their events, create content like this, host mixers, community outreach events, toy drops, so much, right? Now that space is gone off of one person making a reckless decision, or multiple people rather. And what we got to start doing is holding these people accountable, because you are destroying Black infrastructure. And I'm not just talking about this space. I'm just saying if this happened at any other space, it takes so much to make it into these buildings, right? It takes so much to be an owner in a building, especially if you're young and Black. And to get that, then you have to fight another battle of just keeping it, right? Where you can have white neighbors who think that, oh, it's some Black people, hey, they just moved in and they're already watching you. And then to have that happen, that's heartbreaking. So we got to protect our Black institutions. We have to protect our venue owners, and the venue owners have to protect their clientele. It's a symbiotic relationship. We both need each other. But what we have to understand is we have to protect our Black Wall Streets, because we already have outside interference to begin with. We shouldn't have to also be worried about our own. And I'm not, one of those Black apologists that say, oh, we have to fix ourselves. And it's on. No, I'm not saying it in that sense, but just keeping it a buck. Like, we got to move right. We can't have stuff like this happening. That's unacceptable. We can't. And what we have to understand is everybody is affected by that. A business owner is affected. The families, the clientele, they're affected. The babies are affected. That's PTSD. And all of this happened off of split-second decision-making, off of being emotional, right? Nip on Perfect 10, I was playing that randomly in the car earlier, and just hearing Nip, right, his monologue, shout out to Nip right behind me actually, about we have to reassess how we handle disrespect. So often in our community, especially as men, respect is so important to us because especially as black men, that's all that we have sometimes. And for so long, for centuries, that was something that was always stripped from us. Same for our women. So in those moments, sometimes if a person steps on said dude's sneakers, bumps into him, says something disrespectful, tries to talk to us, like anything. There's so many things, and I know all the fellas, they can truly connect to this. When you're going out with your lady, like you're just assessing everything, everybody, because things, it can go left quickly. So us even having to think a certain way going out shows our trauma. So then that trauma is then heightened if a person's already on edge. If you've been paying bills or baby mama got this going on, your wife got this going on, girlfriend, kids, all of that. So you're already stressed out, overworked, underpaid. And then it's a dude right here and he's trying you. And it's like, all I got is my respect, right? So then instantly things pop off. We got to have better emotional intelligence. So just understanding, weighing out the pros and the cons to things. Really realizing, analyzing, is this necessary? Should I be doing this? Am I tripping? These are the questions that we have to ask ourselves because life is too precious just to keep messing up, keep letting things go by. So this situation truly heartbreaking, and I pray for the families. I pray for everybody associated with this because that's a heavy thing to carry. But this all comes off of split-second decision. So we got to move smarter. We have to be smarter, and we have to love on each other and create tangible change. Thank y'all, man. We about to close it out right after this. Thank y'all so much, man, for always tuning in. We had another dope episode of Chillin' with Caleb. Understand, y'all, that the best is truly yet to come. YouTube membership is live, exclusives on the way, ad-free content, and so much more. And 2025 has been one hell of a year, but man, understand 2026, we're truly applying pressure. So I just want to say thank y'all. This platform is nothing without special individuals such as yourself. Always tuning in, sharing, commenting, showing love, everything. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. I love you. And no, man, we got more fire content on the way. So thank y'all. Dr. Gus Wood, check out that interview that just dropped. Bishop Nathaniel, and we got some more bangers on the way. Much love, family. Blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. Until next time, peace.